Howdy y'all, Scott Grove here of GroovyMusicLessons.com. Dr. Groovy with another guitar, and the second review I'm going to do of it for a couple reasons. Number one, I actually went ahead and fixed it and set it up after I got it in and after I did the first review, so we can actually see what it was supposed to sound like. And number two, just because of a bunch of dickheads leaving stupid remarks, and so I'm going to block the majority of those people and do like I normally do and close down the comments after 2 weeks of that retarded mess that usually comes from Chappers fans filtering over here just to hope you didn't get more than $20 for that. Oh, that's the ugliest thing I ever fucking saw. So if you have an opinion, keep it to yourself. Otherwise, yeah, you'll be blocked. Why? Because that's the way I run things. I buy guitars to show them to you, to enlighten you, to whatever, and you can make your own decisions on whether you want to buy them. But if you have an opinion, keep it to yourself. Okay? It's just the way it is. Yes, it's a very Hitler-esque thing around here when it comes to this. I do have 300 and some videos that have comments open, but you people will never watch those, so I close the comments on the ones where the 12-year-olds will make those kind of comments. So let's get to it. And I'm not denying the band whose shirt I wore last time in it, which was a different shirt, Steel Horse, who sent me a few things during our show and tell trade. Okay, so the steelhorseband.com, go check those guys out. It's my other shirt. Yeah, we got a big splattered brain matter going on here. Okay, so here's the guitar. It's the ill-fated, of course, and oh so beautiful Dewey Decibel Flipout guitar. Okay, so you have a backward headstock, you have a backward guitar body, and that's basically what it was meant to be. Everybody's like always against something that's different than what they're used to seeing. Honestly, if you think about it, folks, why would you not want one like this? I don't know. Seems a lot of you out there like to take your women, turn her around and get her from the back. All animals do it. But every time they do a guitar that's backward, like the reverse flying V, which actually ended up being a lot better guitar than the regular flying Vs, just for the sake of sitting down, it actually sat beautifully, played beautifully, sounded beautifully. People just like things the way they like them, and if you don't like something different, don't buy it. I bought it because I wanted to buy it. Therefore, I own it. If you don't want to own it, shut the fuck up and don't buy it. For the dumbass that had just left the hope you didn't pay more than 20 bucks for it. Yes, I paid 300 and something on eBay and almost $79 shipping from one state away. So yeah, so I got raked on the shipping, but that's okay. The other two choices were, there's one on sale on reverb.com right now in an ugly Gretsch orange color for $295 I think. And then there's one more on eBay for $700. Okay, so what these are was in 2004 is when they came out with these, and that's the year this one is. They made 500 total. This one is stamped as number 38 in gold lettering underneath here where the two springs are, and it has a copper claw back there for some reason as opposed to anything else. Of course, very cheap, everything on it. Basswood body, which I love. I love the basswood bodies. Why? Because they're easy to work with. My favorite guitar in the world, all my favorite guitars actually are basswood guitars. Not that it just happens to be coincidence. Are they any cheaper? No. One of them over there, that Fender James Burton Telly, $2,200 basswood. Anyway, so when I got this, the pickups were acting up, meaning that there was actually just a short going on in here, and in two of the positions I had these two pickups on, and then in all three middle positions all three pickups were on. So that has been corrected, and everything's been set up, it's acclimated to the temperature, and everything's perfect now, as perfect as this guitar can be. Of course, it's got the cheapest wiring in it, the cheapest pots you've ever seen, made in China, again. It was just somebody's vision to do this for whatever reason. Okay, what that reason is, who knows, but there it is. Of course, there are other people on the internet claiming, you stole my idea, then a year later it's out. That's another reason why I put out, just a couple weeks ago, the thing where people can submit their little inventions and so forth and see what happens, and hopefully some people will make some of them, but then again, a lot of them have already been made, they just weren't aware of it. So, a lot of people think of the same thing. If you turn one body around backwards and do a reverse, yeah, everybody's going to think to do it with every other guitar. This time they did it with a Strat. So you had the reverse V, the reverse Explorer, you have the reverse, actually the upside down Iceman, which is the Fireman. So it's been done over and over, this time just to a Strat style body. Okay, you do have, wild looking pickguard here, you've got a fully functionable and routed for another neck if you want to put one on here. I was thinking I may or may not, and if I did, they didn't even bother to put a neck plate on, but then again, what would you screw it to? Just have short screws going there just to make it look groovy, I guess. But you could actually run strings through the same holes in the back of the trim block, which is very thin. So run a double set of strings to another neck that goes out this way, and then actually put center Strat buttons in the middle of the guitar, so both sides hook to it, and actually flip the guitar, since it's called a flip out anyway, and use the other side, since the strings would actually go across the back side of the tailpiece here. And you could actually go to another neck for strictly slide purposes, or possibly put on a fretless neck and come up with some wild things, wacky tunings, because the scale would be something bizarre. So you would probably want to go with something fretless anyway, and then draw your lines on if you're going to do a, you know, open tuning steel or slide type of instrument coming off the other neck, if you want to put one on. So just ideas for anybody who may be interested in something like this. Just tossing them out there. Let's see. Come to find out that it is a 12-inch radius, maple neck, separate maple fingerboard. You can see how it's done on there. Typical enclosed tuners, which will be fine and dandy. This is not hooked up to anything whatsoever. There's no wires in there. The jack has never been used. There's no solder on it. The output jack is actually right there. Okay. So underneath the neck pocket back here. So that's where your output jack is. And other than that, it sounds like a Strat from China with cheap parts in it. Okay. So let's go to basic sound. I'm going to the 2 position. These 2 pickups. So that was getting up there to the high frets, which you can get to. 19 is the easiest, as far as, since there's no cutaway here, you can get up to 19th fret comfortably out of 21. So no problem there. 20 and 21 you have to reach, or if you want to just do the slide thing, then you're fine. Play over top and try to find an A. It's going to be the only way you can get to it. Okay, so pretty groovy. Go to the bridge switch position, same sound, go to finger picking. Again, like I said, a basic, cheap Strat, which actually works now. Good, clean sounds. 4 position. That song with that sound. Anyway, they made these for 2004. Debuted them at NAMM, of course, summer. And then 2005 they did what was called the bottom out bass guitars. So just a P bass flipped around backwards. The only ones that ever saw the light of day were the ones at the NAMM show. They folded up and ceased production before those were actually even released. So if you see one of those, it will be a prototype. Okay, so 500 of these were actually made, no more, no less. If there are more, then they were discontinued, or seconds or something like that. So they might have made 525, but only put 500 out due to quality control issues. Which, yes, there are quality control problems here because there's not much quality in the whole instrument as far as the electronics go, which is actually not the builder's fault. It's the person who came up with this whole design and this whole mess. The people in China can make it as good as you want it, as good as you pay them to. But of course, the person who had the money that made the whole Dewey Decibel crap just didn't pony up enough money to make a great guitar. So you get what you pay for as far as these go. But they actually weren't cheap. The street prices on these were actually way up there. But again, asking for more money than what was put in here. It probably didn't cost 50, 60 bucks to make each one of these. So when you start asking $1,000 for them, something gets a little fishy. Okay, so let's do a couple more sounds and get out of here because there's nothing else to tell you really, except for it's a Strat copy. Neck pickup. Sounding guitar, just quacks like crazy. Distortion, typical distortion, 2 position. Groovy tones. Okay, so there you go. It's the 2004 only Dewey Decibel Flipout. Again, just a guitar that didn't have enough money stuck into it. Basic idea of flipping a body around backward. Either you like it or you don't. If you don't, shut the fuck up. I get it. Don't buy it. Again, I bought it so you can or can't. So I do the reviews so you can decide for yourself. Otherwise, if you don't like it, don't buy one. Again, why leave comments when nobody wants you to? Hey, and I'm using my Groovy nylon strap that also got traded in my let's make a dope deal transactions. Check this out. Boing, 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 boing. You're like, what the shit? Yeah, I had these when I was a kid too, but somebody was nice enough to send me this, and yeah, you can just boing. How's that? So anyway, again, I don't know about y'all, and again, the 12-year-old haters will be out there, and well, let me give you the thing first. I didn't get into music originally to go unnoticed. So yeah, getting wacky flipped out guitars like this, or all the other weird ones I have, yeah, that's cool stuff, man. You always remember the guy that has the wacky thing. You don't remember Kiss for being great musicians, you remember them for being wacky, you know. And it's like, well, how about for just being a good musician? Well, other musicians remember that, but the audience doesn't. Most of your audience doesn't give a shit, actually, if you're a good musician. They just know if they like what you do, if it's got a good beat, and if they could dance to it. Old Dick Clark thing there from American Bandstand on Raider Record. Dick, I'll give it an A because it's got a good beat and you can dance to it. Okay. Okay, so yeah, there are places for these, and I was happy to go ahead and get the 18 gauge strings off here, put some real strings on, straighten it out. Once it got straightened out, acclimated to the desert, and fix up the wiring and fix up everything else that's wrong with it, other than the fact that it's just got cheap ass parts in it. Again, not the fault of anybody in China, it's just the fault of the person who funded this whole thing and said, make it cheap. And I'm going to sell them for $1,000, make them for $80, and I'll sell them for $1,000. And that's exactly what happened. So, but then again, they were out of business in less than a year. Okay, so mainly due to the price point. When you can get them at this low of a price, around the $300 mark, why not? Take it on stage, make a cool guitar, especially for those of you who don't play past the 19th fret anyway. So it'll be a cool thing to whip out for 1 tune, 10 tunes, make a great ornament for your bar or music room just to have around. But if you actually wanted to play it for real, it doesn't sound horrid. But with, you know, $20, even the pickups could be fine. $20 worth of pots and wire gauges would do wonders for this thing. So if you actually just bought a pre-wired Strat harness, you know, it's all ready to go. It's already got the pots, the toggle switch, the wiring, everything already wired. People just, you know, gut these guitars from brand spanking new, part them out, and make twice of retail price when they part them out that way. So you can go on eBay, buy a brand new USA Strat harness already wired for $20, $25, cram it in here, and it's actually going to sound few $100s better. Okay, so once again, Scott Grove, GroovyMusicLessons.com, with the Dewey Decibel Flipout guitar in what they call the invisible model. All the guitars were exactly the same, but no, that wasn't even called the color. The color is just called light blue, but it's called the invisible model. So for every different color they had, they called that a different model. Why? I don't know. They had one that was just a cherry sunburst. They called it the lit cigarette. And then the finish, cherry sunburst. But it was still this guitar with just a different finish on it. So, go figure. Once again, I'm deleting the old one. I'm deleting all the stupid comments, and these comments will be closed in 2 weeks also. So, there's the axe. People, grow up a little bit, please. Or go back to Chapperland and play over there. I really don't want you over here. And, there you be. Okay? So, Dr. Groovy out.